The Washington Commanders last year had so many realistic rebuilds and franchise series done on them because they just simply needed them so badly. But just like the Texans the year before them have shown how important that quarterback position is, Jayden Daniels has come on strong and looked amazing, seems to be their franchise quarterback, and despite really lacking really great weapons besides Terry McLaurin, have looked great on offense. Obviously, Brian Robinson's having a really good year, especially because of that offensive line. The run blocking is really solid for them, and in general, they're a good offensive line, but the pass game's been great, the run game's been pretty good, and like I said, that's with basically needing other receiving options. A little surprised they didn't make a trade for someone, which of course is going to segue into the kind of reason why we're doing this rebuild in the first place, and that's because of the trade for Marshon Lattimore, a guy that maybe hasn't always graded out super well with Pro Football Focus, but I've always considered him to be one of the best league corners, especially consistently, and he's just a fun corner to watch. And of course, I will say EA kind of agrees, as they've basically never rated him poorly since really his rookie year, where he won, obviously, Rookie of the Year. But 91 speed, 90 man, 92 zone, 92 play rec, 97 press, great catching, great tackle, X Factor 28. This truly is a blockbuster trade, especially in Madden, and it really only costs them a third and a fourth, because that 6 gets canceled out by the 5th they gain back, and obviously adds on to that a little bit. So not a bad trade at all, especially considering it is by far their biggest positional need. Emmanuel Forbes just should not play cornerback ever again for them. St. Just, is it Juice? Just, not great either. Sanders still, obviously, a corner rookie, but better than the other two, I suppose. Defensive line, obviously, they're really hurting for Jonathan Allen, but that's something that just can't really be fixed. I'm pretty sure he is indefinitely out for the season. Looking at the safeties, definitely can use some work. Linebacker, obviously Bobby Wagner still playing at a pretty high level considering how old he is. But yeah, this is a team that still could use some work on the defensive side of the ball, but statistically, they actually don't look terrible. And adding Marshon Lattimore should help that pass defense a little bit more, even though the run defense is arguably a bigger concern. But yeah, this team, as far as a rebuild team goes, cornerback might be fine now with Lattimore. He puts Sanders still at number 2, even though he's obviously a bit of a smaller corner. Maybe you would like him to fit that slot role a little bit more, but we'll see what happens there. Kind of depends if we can draft someone or not. And then obviously D-line, edge in general, they're not terrible in real life. Dorrance Armstrong's not bad, but obviously at his age being 28, 27, it's a guy that needs to be replaced, right? Like, you can't really develop a 27-year-old under 80 overall star dev player. It just doesn't really work like that. Linebackers, we're going to need a couple. Offensively, obviously O-line isn't as solid as real life because their overalls are kind of low and they're normal dev and whatnot. So tackle, left guard, maybe left tackle, even though Lucas has been pretty good. Center and right guard might be fine. Wide receiver, definitely need a new one. Tight end, maybe. But, we do got a youthful guy here. So let's see if Ben can maybe work it. Tight end's obviously not really been that great for the Commanders this year, but maybe Ben is the answer. I will say, though, it's kind of crazily fitting that not only are we playing as the Washington Commanders here, but this rebuild came as a part of a vote. Very coincidental timing. But if you guys have a team you want to see next, maybe one of the teams we mentioned, maybe it's the Steelers with Preston Smith and Mike Williams, let me know in the comment section below, and maybe that'll be the next team we do. But as far as this rebuild goes, also while you're down there, maybe leave a like and subscribe. If you don't, it's all right. But, just saying. But yeah, as far as the re-signings go, Jeremy Chin, he's actually played pretty well, and it's a weird spot for me because he's obviously up there in age now. He used to be like one of the prime fantasy draft guys to go for, especially since he was a linebacker at the time, but we'll still re-sign him. I think he's playing pretty well. Derek Forrest, a guy that had, ironically enough, so much potential while he was a normal dev, and now that he's star, he's only a 72 overall. I don't understand. I'm confused. I don't know what to think. And this team needs to just move on from all of the wide receivers that aren't named McLaurin. So I am not going to be paying anyone not named McLaurin. Bobby Wagner might just straight up retire on us, so I don't want to pay him right now when he might not even be here. A lot of lower overalls in here, but I will say a lot of them actually starters. So definitely going to need to look into this, but for the most part, I'm not sure we're going to re-sign anyone else. Also, can anyone explain to me why every player in the league named Lucas is old as hell? If your name is Lucas, you're going to last long in the league. That's just the rules. Looking pretty good for a chance at the playoffs, as you, would expect, but obviously it hasn't been as strong of a finish as it has a start. But taking on some of their, tougher divisional rivals, especially in Madden, and doing a pretty good job, I believe, beating the Eagles and the Cowboys. And right there, winning against the Cowboys, likely sending them packing, if you will, not in the playoffs. As you can see, the Vikings were 10-7 as the 7th seed, which obviously means that the Cowboys had a pretty damn good chance of making the playoffs themselves. Looking across the board here, the Falcons at 10-7, the Niners at 9-8, barely sneaking in with the Rams at 9-8 themselves. The NFC North looking as strong as, they're kind of starting off so far. But let's take a look at how those games kind of shaped up after that Giants game. You have yourself a loss to the Steelers, a win against the Eagles, a loss to the Cowboys, a win against the Titans, a loss to the Saints of all teams. And they actually lost. No, they did have the win there against the Eagles. A loss to the Eagles, but then a win against the Falcons and Cowboys, two teams that are obviously either in the playoffs or were on the cusp of playoffs. So some pretty tough opponents to beat, and we're able to beat them, of course. Jaden Daniels, the numbers, they don't look amazing, but obviously the team has won. They've been efficient, and they, of course, made the playoffs. Don't know what's going to have to happen with this actual scheme, though, because real life and in-game, there's different things, right? Like, it doesn't really matter what the team is in real life. They could be good or they could be bad, whereas in-game, you're going to get the playbooks, the scheme, that automatically means you're going to be good or bad, no matter how good you are. You can have the best 99 overall in the world. If you have a bad playbook, their numbers are still going to be a lot lower than they could be. Josh Allen wins MVP, and then we look at Jaden Daniels winning Rookie of the Year. I don't think that's going to do much for him unless he isn't already Superstar, which they might not have put him at Superstar. I'm kind of curious to see, though, if he actually is. And then obviously we'll get into that playoff game, which I'm going to say I do worry a little bit about, because this Commanders team in real life, they look good, but in game, that scheme, like we talked about, it's not that great. And Jaden Daniels already is a superstar, so we'll have to see what happens there, but I don't think they're going to give him X Factor based on the award alone. All right, the 82 overall, 10-7 Atlanta Falcons, who have been heating up lately as well, are the team we have to play in round one. It's a game that is 6-6, a big field goal battle. The Falcons score the first touchdown, though, and it's not looking good. 16-6, this offense is doing absolutely nothing. They do get a field goal, though, and it seems like they got to stop. They did, 4th and 6 from the 48-yard line. This is tough. Are you going to go for this? This is really tough because it's like, yes, I get the fact that, it's 4th and 6, but does turning the ball over here really matter versus punting it? This isn't a 5 or maybe 6 point game. It's 3. So even if they get a first down and a field goal, you still touchdown wins it, right? So that's where I stand on this. And I also stand on the fact that you have this guy. You also have this guy. Very simple. You let that man operate outside the pocket for even a moment as he's gone. All right, 4th and inches, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? You're going to not run the ball with your big running back that is really tanky? I don't know. Don't know what I want to do. Obviously, you don't want draw. Draw is crazy. Do you trust Robinson? Let's see it. Oh, there's a lot of room to work. Robinson wants it all, and he almost gets it all. Let's see how they waste the clock here, because it doesn't seem like the Falcons are wasting timeout, so if they don't waste a little bit, I'm going to be kind of mad. They do get the touchdown, passing the ball, by the way. Get a 4-point lead, but it's not over. Atlanta can drive down. They completely fumble, and the Commanders come on late and win the game 20-16. Sure, we came in on some 4th downs and converted, but it was really about the decision to go for it rather than the actual execution. If you guys have watched our rebuilds, you know that the execution, maybe it's been decent lately, but for the most part, it usually isn't. Kirk Cousins wasn't good, but let's be real. Either was Jaden Daniels. 120 yards on 52% completion percentage with only a touchdown is terrible. Rushing definitely a little bit better, but still not a good passing game at all for this team, and really just lucky to be moving on to the divisional round. Dorrance Armstrong, who we just talked about, not bad. It's just long-term wise, where do you stand? Lattimore with a pick, that's amazing. Younghoe Koo missing a field goal, kind of massive, right? They probably got more aggressive than they needed to on that final drive. If they would have only needed a point, one field goal to win it, they probably set that up. But regardless, we are headed to that divisional round like we talked about. No Cowboys. Of course, the Eagles, we've split with them. They, on paper, definitely look better. So it is a tough matchup, but we did win once. They bleed. They are human. All right, going to the end of the game. 7-0, and the Philadelphia Eagles are leading. We get a touchdown in the first quarter. Okay, I mean, obviously, so are the freaking Eagles. It looks like we turned the ball over. But yeah, we're actually scoring touchdowns. 21-14, 28-14. Philadelphia won't go away, though. Into the fourth quarter, huge touchdown. Looks like a stop to me. We'll have to kick the punt, but that's fine. Defense doing a great job. And I think Philadelphia's going to run out of time. That interception didn't help, but I think this is still going to be a win. A really weird one. Multiple turnovers, but a lot of touchdowns is going to have this Commanders team headed to the championship round. I'm not surprised we made the playoffs, right? That doesn't surprise me. Jaden Daniels with 2 picks, but I am surprised that we're in the championship round. I really thought that this team's scheme, Zach Bond is having a great season in real life, obviously. I really thought that this scheme was going to be too much to overcome. It is not a scheme that does well in Sim. The Commanders are not a team that makes the Super Bowl often, and that's with having a guy like Jaden Daniels at the helm. But yet, here we are, headed to the championship round, with this team in year one. Is this going to be one of those weird, short, 3-year rebuilds? I mean, it's a great team, right? So they're playing really well in real life, so maybe it's fitting. The Packers, 13-4. Really curious to see how the hell they got to where they are now. 13-4. I mean, don't get me wrong, Green Bay looks decent in real life, and there's really more injury concerns than actual talent concerns, and some fundamental stuff, but it seems kind of crazy to me. What am I even looking at here? Okay, we have the Packers winning by 18 against the Vikings, and then you have the Packers winning by 3 against Detroit. It's at home, so probably not a good game for Green Bay. These two teams love to go into the away territory and beat each other off. Beat each other off. That's it. That's all. I'm just leaving it at that. They love to beat each other off. Yeah, they like to go on the road and win. It's really strange, but here it is. Washington Commanders versus Green Bay Packers. Winner is in the Super Bowl. This is a bit of an interesting, out of left field kind of matchup. Commanders haven't played the Packers since 2022, and that resulted in a win of 2 for that Commanders team. Of course, right now, looking pretty good. That extra point miss was not good, but some really good defensive stands, not allowing Green Bay to score a single point to this point. Finally, they score, but it's too little too late, I think. Holy crap, Green Bay, as they do in real life, almost coming back late, and just like that game we talked about, Commanders scoring the exact same point total, 23 points, beating Green Bay 23-15, and sending the Commanders to the Super Bowl. Jordan Love, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception, 318 yards, 67% completion percentage. That's a pretty damn good game, especially for Love, who he's got to throw that pick, man. Jaden Daniels, 279 yards, 79% completion percentage of touchdown. That's great. Rushing, Bijan and Eckler both with a touchdown. Yards per carry weren't very good, though. Zacchaeus, 56 yards and a touchdown. Noah Brown coming out of the woodwork. We love that for him. 134 yards. Where's McLaurin? 22 yards. Yikers. Let's take a look at the defense. Luvu, 1.5. Payne, 1. Half for Newton. Gary and Van Ness with a sack apiece. Bobby Wagner with a pick getting involved. And then, of course, as usual, Green Bay kicking issues are prevalent, and it probably wouldn't have mattered too much. But, yeah, a blocked field goal in the playoffs for Green Bay. Who would have thought? I just can't believe some of the luck we've had in these rebuilds lately. I mean, we haven't really done anything, but at the same time, we're going to play it how it lies. The Bills, the Chiefs losing. That is crazy, though. The Chiefs are goated, and they had the bye week, so a little surprised to see that. But let's take a look at how the Bills got here. Probably a bit of a tougher schedule than we had. The Jets, okay, it'd be crazy if the Jets came back and actually made the playoffs. Possible, obviously. Likely, I don't know. 21-point win there, though, obviously. And then you have the Bills, who defeated the Texans by quite a bit. And then they defeated the Chiefs by a lot. So that Bills defense looks very, very legit, and that is concerning. See if we have any dev ups. Jaden Daniels obviously doesn't go up in dev because that award is not going to send him there. Looking at the rest of the squad, though, no dev ups on offense. Not really surprised by that. Defensively, any dev ups? Luvu goes a superstar, and I think that's it, unfortunately. No, Bobby Wagner goes a star, which is, I don't know what we're doing here. Like, did they just want him to retire after year one? How is he not just like a lifelong star minimum player? Very weird. Very weird stuff to me, but hey, star dev. How is he not at least star or superstar? What are we doing here? Am I missing something? I don't understand. Either way, Luvu goes a superstar, which at 27, and a guy that has always performed for me in Sim. Don't know what it is about him. Yeah, not a bad dev up to get at all. But yeah, he's so good in Sim. But here it is for all the marbles. Are the Commanders going to win a year one Super Bowl? Mainly because of Lattimore. Let's be real. I don't see them winning year one Super Bowls like ever. Now that they have Lattimore, you're telling me that's just coincidence? I don't know. Here we go for all the marbles. The Bills already starting out with 7, getting a stop, and then scoring another touchdown. It's not looking good. We get a touchdown back, thankfully. And, okay, maybe not so bad. Halftime score will be 14-all. We get a lead. 17-all now. The Bills going to have a 3-point lead into the fourth quarter. The Bills do get stopped from the 33-yard line. 3rd and 9, 4th and 18. That could be the game. Could be the game. 3rd and 15. They get the stop. Commanders have a chance. They run the ball. This is not going to go well. Look how much clock just went. Oh, my God. We're coming in. We're coming in. We're winning this game. I guess we only need a... There we go. That's a really good play. Going to have to stay in bounds, though. Ooh, he kind of slipped off of it. We got to call a timeout. I know how the game works right now. It is not good. That clock would be gone. I want Jeromepkr over on that left side. I gotta say, his route running there didn't really look that good. Drops the ball, maybe a blessing. Really wish this team just had at least one more timeout, but they don't. Gonna probably be a force over to McLaurin again, who is actually open. It's a little overthrown. Gets the feet down and is at the 47. Hold on a minute. Hold on a minute. Flood swap, we're really looking at Zacchaeus here. I'm gonna predetermine the hell out of this. Zacchaeus catches it to the 31. They're saying field goal. I mean, I kind of agree, but at the same time, could you not give Jeromepkr just one chance? I mean, if they decide to make a mistake and allow him to do one-on-one, which they don't really seem like they're going to. I mean, he's one-on-one. Jeromepkr is one-on-one! And he doesn't catch the ball off the deflection. That was scary, though, so it's kind of a situation like maybe you don't want to try that again. But, I mean, do I really learn my lesson? Probably not. Hail Mary, would they even be ready for the... Okay, they are ready for this. I mean, we're just going to try to get a little closer with Jaden Daniels, who they're going to give a lot of room to. That is a huge mistake. To the 10, I mean, this is a chip shot now. I'm kicking it because this game just does what it does. Crazy chip shot now. That was kind of a clever move. I'm surprised it worked on this difficulty, to be honest. As we're going to be kicking this field goal up, and I'm terrible with these, like, ices, but thankfully good. End of regulation. Bills versus the Commanders in overtime. I mean, you probably want to kick first in this situation, right? So hopefully we win it. We will be kicking first if we have the choice. Damn. The problem is I think they choose to receive anyway, so I think it's actually impossible... Yeah, it's actually impossible to get unlucky with that. Like, the only time you should actually be, like, receiving first is if your defense is gassed, right? Like, they're completely out. Oh! Saint Restil! And is it in? It is! The Commanders have won the Super Bowl. That's why you play defense first. The Buffalo Bills fold. And we have a year one Super Bowl win for the Washington Commanders. Marshon Lattimore is smiling like the damn Joker out here. That thing is going all the way up to his eyebrows. That smile, that grin. As the Commanders have won the Super Bowl. Jaden Daniels, a rookie, mind you, able to do it all. And here comes that Lombardi. I mean, we'll definitely do 2 more seasons, but I'm curious to see what happens here. Yeah, I mean, we've had another rare year one Super Bowl win. With this scheme, mind you. I mean, this scheme, I don't know how they did it. Maybe not the toughest road to the Super Bowl win, but the Bills, obviously, they're kind of up there. But, you know, we had to play the Eagles, didn't we? I mean, that's not an easy team. They're really damn talented. Top 3 roster in the game, I would say. Of course, these receivers, they clutched up down that last stretch to get to that field goal situation. You know, getting open when they needed to. Great catches. I mean, I can't believe freaking Jeromepkr caught that one. And then Zacchaeus on the sideline on the opposite side, catching that going upfield. Then Jaden Daniels with all that speed, scrambling around the edge to make it a chip shot instead of a longer field goal. What a damn game. Both QBs throwing a pick, both very similar in completion percentage. Difference is Josh Allen had 100 yards more, but a less average. The run game, superb. I mean, that is really good numbers for playoffs. I mean, look, compared to James Cook, you know, they're both similar in overall, yet one had 4.5 yards per carry, the other had 0.9. It's terrible. Shakir was great. McLaurin was great for us. But yes, it is without a doubt a big positional need for us is wide receiver. I can't believe Saint Restil just cooked up that well as a rookie. It's all about the rookies, baby. This Commanders team, it is rookie central. The rookies showed out. See if Bobby Wagner actually does retire. Will be another position of need, unfortunately. No, he's still here, so we'll see if we can get him back another year. Try and lessen the blow. Media availability is stupid. This offseason one, though, to get free ratings, not so bad. I think I kind of want the running back to get one. And I mean, this is pretty no-brainer. Luke is not even probably going to be here, and even if he was, he'd be 34 years old. So, yeah, I think we're fine. I think we're okay with Brian. See what he's working on. We probably want speed, but if it's juke move and whatnot or trucking, we're going to allow it. Juke move, stiff arms in my vision, and trucking defenders. I mean, I can't really... Not only do I not know what he's good at, or his personality type, but in general, those are really good ratings. Obviously, speed would be great, but yeah, I mean, those are great things. I really should, like, when you know it's a media availability, it's an offensive guy, you should know it's either going to be QB, running back, or wide receiver, maybe an offensive lineman, but you're probably not going to choose the O-line anyways. Could have really nailed some speed upgrades there potentially, but yeah, 103 mil. So this team's really built for the future. That window, when you have a rookie quarterback contract, it's just insane. You feel like you're undefeated. You feel like you own everything. Bobby Wagner, I mean, I'm willing to do a 1 year 11. Let's do a 1 year 11 just to not have to pay someone or play one, or draft someone. Of course, he's still going to be gone. 13 mil. I don't know if I see that. Yeah, I do. He's the damn heart of this linebacker unit, which I got to say is actually pretty weak. But yeah, got money. Keep an 82 overall. I wish he was higher overall, but 82 is good. It's good enough. We still have 90 million as well, so don't forget it. Safety is a big concern for this team. I don't know if I want to do the whole Javon Holland thing, but I might. Khalil Mack also is a potential option. A Debo. This team needs corner still. I think what we'd be drafting is wide receiver because it doesn't really seem like wide receiver is a great option here unless you want to go Hopkins, who I don't know how much he really has left in the tank a whole extra season from now. He looks pretty good in real life, but I don't know. I'm not really sure about that. Offensive line, I would love to add Garrett Bowles because our tackle position is, obviously missing its tackle. So we'll do it's a lot of money, 1 year 19. For that overall, though, even though he's on the older side, that does make a lot of sense. Is it at least blue? It is, so have a chance to get him. O-line, I think our center's fine. Guard, I don't really like the options. And then right tackle, Morgan Moses, but he's on the older side, so meh. Jamie Davis could return to the squad. D-line needs some work. Edge in general. Chase Young is obviously nowhere near the talent he was a little bit earlier in the year. Don't think it would make a whole lot of sense to bring him back either, so I'm going to have to pass on him. What else do we have? Outside linebacker, Willie Gay, star dev. Azeez Ojulari. I wonder how well he played. Be interesting to bring him on. Khalil Mack, even as a 1 year DI, because, I mean, this is a young team, but it's also a team that just won the Super Bowl, so we see this team as a right-now competitor, so why wouldn't I pay that? A Debo, a 2 year deal, I have to pay that. We need a corner, and it's a 2 year deal. If it was higher than that, 3 or 4, maybe I don't do it. Might even bring in Holland. I mean, I think we're just going to rework this team as much as possible. See what we're looking at competitive-wise. If we can get that to green, we should, or 5-bar green, I should say, we should be able to just land him. There you go. So we have a good chance to land these guys, spending a little bit of money in free agency, but I think these guys are all pretty damn good contributors. Hoping to at least get Bowles and Mack, and of course we're not going to get Bowles. We do get Mack, though. We get a Debo. Unfortunately, though, we do lose Javon Holland to the Rams. Here we are headed into the draft. We're using the user-created class for the upcoming 2025 NFL draft class. And, yeah, we're looking at wide receiver. I'm probably not going to be trading up, so I'm just going to move on to that next pick. We don't really have much trade fodder. Obviously, no third, no fourth, no sixth. It's not looking good. Egbuka goes 26 to the Steelers. It's a really good pick. I actually really like that for him. I don't like it for us, though, because that probably would have been someone I would have been looking at. Wide receivers are still there, but I just don't know who to go for. All of them are kind of like shorter speed guys, which I guess the Commanders have been kind of trendily drafting. What about defensively? Obviously, you have a lot of linebackers and safeties, even though we probably don't need safety that bad. Wide receivers definitely on my radar here. Who do I go with, though? Evan Stewart? He looks like the best of the bunch, in my opinion. So if I'm going to take anyone, it's Evan Stewart, who is also another one of those fast players. I think that's who I'm taking. Wide receiver, Evan Stewart. Welcome to the team. Giving me more Terry McLaurin vibes. 23 true talent value. Hidden dev, 96 speed, 96 jump, 96 change direction, 96 agility, 95 excel. I mean, that looks great to me. Let's move on to the next pick. I do worry, though, because I still need 2 O-line. I still need a linebacker. I arguably need edge. And I can't get that all with basically 1 high draft pick left. I don't think that's going to happen. Also, stuck on QB for our focus scouting because we're using the up-to-date rosters that EA has set up. So obviously that's where that's going to be. Need multiple linebackers. So honestly, with our desperation at quantity, even though we do technically have McGee, we might have to just trade down and take whoever's available, right? I do like Sonny Styles, kind of a safety look, but you know what? I'm taking Sonny Styles. I was going to trade down. Okay, I don't want this. I was going to trade down and take whoever is, available, and we trade up. Just give me one good player, and we'll make it work. Whatever. Go to the start of the 4th, see if there's anyone there. I don't really think you could trade up to the 3rd without really seriously costing your next year draft picks, which I don't really want to do. We do have 2 linebackers, Barham and Bassa. We also have some safeties. I really like Mukuba, who's a little raw but really, really fast. But I think safety actually is a little bit better than I thought it was going to be for us. Barham, he's fast but not amazingly fast. 4.57, good speed, but the rest kind of looks a little iffy. Bassa, I can't remember if we actually drafted him once or not, but looks better technically. But neither of them athletically looks like the kind of player I would look for, so I'm willing to just kind of move on until it's just one of them remaining. Who I will say, arguably, I want it to be Bassa. And we trade for Darian Mathis and Emmanuel Forbes over to the Broncos for a 4th and 2 6th this year. I really just think that's kind of the trend of what he's looking like in real life. We do have those safeties, which is really interesting, I will say. We got some O-line as well. Where is DJ Campbell on my list of players I want? I like him athletically, but he does look so insanely raw. I don't think I've ever drafted him, though, so he could be hidden for all I know. Do we have any safeties that can play linebacker? Arguably, Nick. Probably not, though. Jeffrey Bass is going to be my guy. I think he is normal, though, sadly. But worth the pick. 82 true, normal dev. Starter caliber, I think. We now move on to the 5th round, where maybe I could have traded up for a safety, but even then, we wouldn't start him this year, I don't think, so kind of a waste. Safety, Wohler is still there. O-line, Frazier is still there. How good is Wohler? Hunter Wohler. Good enough for me, buddy. Good enough for me. True talent, 118. 89 speed, 90 XL. We'll see what those ratings look like. Will he start? Probably not. Does he have a chance? Maybe. Late 5th, we still have Miles Frazier. Could actually start, even though he's always been a guy we've drafted and sat. And he just never gets a chance. But he is decent. I think he's like 68, 69 overall normal. Maybe you have a chance to start somewhere because our O-line is kind of weak. These user-created classes, though, the O-line, if you're not going to the 1st round, we always mention it, not an easy task to land depth, without having, some crazy high draft picks. So not going to be something we'll be able to pull off here today, it seems. But Jaden Higgins, get ourselves a taller wide receiver. Why not? The other guy, I think, is he's fast, but we already got plenty of fast guys. 169 true talent, 89 speed, 80 XL, 94 jump. Looks actually a little bit better athletically than I thought based on the ratings they showed. In our final draft pick, do we go with another safety? Do we go another wide receiver? I think Noel's a little bit faster. Looks pretty good. That's going to be the guy I take. Wide receiver left and right, 101 true talent, 90 speed, 87 XL. Slower than I thought. The left side did say solid rather than right side with its 40 time and all that. So they did kind of tell us, and I just didn't want to listen. But hey, we got some depth at wide receiver. Sure, the trenches could have been worked on a little bit more, but the options weren't really there, so we took best available, I feel. Wow, Styles is such a low overall. But wide receiver, Evan Stewart, 75 overall, automatic wide receiver 2, 85 release, pretty good catching, fast as hell. Looks good to me. I mean, there's probably no point in looking at Dev because he's like 99% guaranteed to be star. And yeah, no one is surprised. And then we have Sonny Styles, who arguably could become a safety for us in the future. He's going to be right now our left outside linebacker, and that's where we're going to sit him. Bassa, what is his overall? He is actually 71 overall. He'll be our new right outside linebacker, I think, starting over McGee. I don't think McGee got to start. If he did, though, McGee's going to start, but if not, we're going to start the youthful player here at right outside linebacker. And the rest, for the most part, are basically backups. But Wohler, I mean, 70, 69 overall is pretty good. It's close to a 70. High potential because he's a rookie. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe we'll start him, but I think probably not. Yeah, I mean, it's not the perfect draft. It's not the perfect offseason, but I think we did about as well as possible with the lacking of depth and pick 32 each round. This is the real test, year 2, where we don't have that huge lead off because of the real-life Commanders' success. Will this team make it back to the playoffs? Will they win a Super Bowl or get close to it without, like I said, the huge lead into that playoff race? I mean, we barely snuck into the playoffs despite the Commanders having a really good chance at it in real life. Offensive line, obviously we didn't really do a great job here, but that's just what's going to happen when you use these user leagues. They're not bad. It's just they seem to have very bad offensive linemen when, user-wise or CPU-wise, they're almost always really deep classes. Defensively, we get Jonathan Allen back. We add Khalil Mack. Newton moves up because he's a better pass rusher than Payne. Cornerback Adebo's a new addition. And then, of course, the linebackers. Some youthful new names. I mean, you can argue that we're starting off with a better base than we took over for in the middle of the year, but what about the other teams? That's really where the concern is. But let's see it. See if this team can win back-to-back. That would be definitely one of the biggest shocks I would have expected from a rebuild this year. And as we kind of expected early on, this has been a rough season. It has been really rough. Jonathan Allen, I mean, normally I would do like a 2-year deal, but I really don't know. At 30 years old, only being 88 overall, I think he'll be fine for another year, but I can't guarantee that. Brian Robinson, I would love the ceiling to be a little bit higher, but I don't think it's going to be there. But either way, 3 or 24 for a mid-80s is fine. Terry McLaurin, this is going to be a tough one for us. He's asking for a lot. This is probably going to be better off for us to just tag him, but I'm going to try to do right by him, a 4-year 124, and he takes it. Okay, so I mean, that's a little high, but it's worth it. Mac hasn't been great this year, and that is a lot of money for a guy that hasn't been great. The rest, I think we're going to be letting go anyway, so we still have money. But yeah, we talked about it, just what's going to happen with the schemes that EA doesn't deem worthy, right? You're thinking of teams in real life from last year going into this year. What we had, I don't remember what this was, 800 yards, 60 catches. But yeah, who you think is going to be good? Yeah, I mean, I don't think many people would have thought that the Commanders would have a start that they've had this year. So if EA is playing that kind of, well, we want to look smart type of mentality, then the best thing would be for them to be like, okay, well, the Commanders aren't going to do well, so their scheme sucks. And then we're going to make the teams we think that are good, like the Chiefs, their schemes are good. That's just how it works. And obviously with that, we go 7-10. It's not a good year for a team that just won the Super Bowl and arguably only got better, right? Outside of maybe regressions, we really didn't get worse, I don't think. Maybe you can argue that the tackles got worse, right? Who do we even have? Well, I guess it'd only be just the left tackle, who was only a 77 overall anyways. Either way, let's look at the stats in the awards. Jaden Daniels, 20 touchdowns, 11 picks, 3,100 yards. I mean, that's just atrocious. 3,000 yards for the follow-up Rookie of the Year season. I mean, that's got to be one of the last-ranked QBs for yards of eligible players. I mean, it really is. 1, 2, 3, 4. He was better yards-wise than 4 guys. And 2 of them were rookies. One of them shouldn't even be a starter, and then the other one is a hamster. So, I mean, I don't know what's going on, but those numbers sucked. You're going to have to play the meta playbook. That's how it works. No matter what you want to do, it's just not going to happen, right? Texans versus the Niners. What do we got? Texans versus the Niners. 2 interesting teams. I'm feeling Niners, but it would be nice to see the Texans, I suppose. And it is the Niners. A bunch of new messages. You got OC. The last time, though, they didn't even give me a follow-up for Brian. I messed him up there. For Brian's, ratings. So I'm not really even sure what's going on there. Was McLaurin, he wasn't an X Factor, was he? Regression we have off, right? Okay, so he regressed a little bit, but we don't have dev regression on, which is good. Brian Robinson, he's an 86 overall now. He's getting up there a little bit. Defensively, any developments? Wow, okay, so Mac and Luvu both go to X Factor. What the hell did Mac do to deserve this? Probably tackle for a loss, but that's definitely interesting. Yeah, 21 tackles for a loss. Great year before this as an actual outside linebacker, which is really surprising. What else do we have? Luvu going up in Nev. He had double-digit sacks, so, I mean, obviously it makes sense, but yeah, his ratings aren't really going to go much higher than where he's at, unfortunately. So Edge is definitely up there unless we can find someone in the free agency. Of course, retirement for Mr. Wagner. Bassa's a 78 overall, though, even though he's not star dev. He's actually pretty good. Starting the rookies, man, it always was great. It's really great right now. Like, you just got guys that are just developing so quickly because of it. Corners, I think, are fine. You're seeing some regressions from guys like Allen and Lattimore. But, yeah, I mean, looking at safety, linebacker, edge for defense, and then offensively, a bunch of offensive line, which is where we focused our scouting. I mean, you got a left guard, a right tackle, and probably even a left tackle that you need to replace. Wide receiver, I think, will be fine. Stewart, how good of a season did he have anyways? I kind of feel like I glanced over it. 842, 68 catches, 5 touchdowns. Did we actually get our goal? It said first round expectations. I kind of just went through the motions with that one because the last time we had it, it was just like, well, who cares? You were wrong. And it's like, no, we weren't. We said what we said, and it worked. Oh, well. Off-season workouts, maybe I should have actually looked into this, but usually they do decide, right? Let's go with Jaden Daniels. Face of the franchise, most important position on the field, most important player on the team. Let's get him better. Let's see, what do we got? What are you focusing on? What is he focusing on? I mean, all we really need is accuracy. Throwing on the... Oh, I don't like that. I have no idea his personality type, though. Throw power. Oh, my. I really don't know. I have no idea what he is. I'm just going to say unpredictable. I don't agree. I'll let you know how much progress. So he said I don't agree, which means, like, it's not as bad, but it's still wrong. Then we have a new message, another OC play here. Could be the rookie wide receiver. Hoping it's McLaurin because he's kind of a lower overall these days. Obviously, Brian, I don't think Brandon Coleman's even going to be, like, the guy anymore. You know, if we have the picks. Missed the playoffs, though, so should we have a decent draft pick? Problem is we're probably going to need to use that on an edge rusher. Juke moves and all that, that's fine. Continue to do what you got to do. Hopefully they'll actually follow up with us and we'll actually get the ratings we deserve, but didn't happen last time, so I don't see why it wouldn't happen again. Let's actually see the official retirement of Mr. Bobby Wagner. And it is right there, 14 seasons in the league. And we need to find a new middle linebacker, unfortunately. So we have nearly $90 million. You could keep Mac for another year, but I don't really like that, to be honest. What was Chad Ryland like? I think he was pretty bad, wasn't he? It's not bad. It's just not very good. There's no reason to re-sign him, even though he's kind of cheap. So, yeah, we're going to let all those guys go. If it comes down to it and nobody wants Mac in free agency, maybe we'll throw a 1-year 10 or something, but I'm not paying $16 million for a guy that put up 4 or 5 sacks. Tight end Mark Andrews would be great. Quarterback we don't need. Tyron's a kind of bandage player, but I wouldn't mind it. Tackle is definitely a need. Taylor Moton, I don't know if I really want him as my tackle. Safety could be filled by Kyler Gordon moving over there. Tyrann Mathieu, 87 speed. That's interesting. Romeo Dobbs. What about Mac? No offers. I mean, we can try to throw that like 1-year 10 or whatever seems like the cheapest he'll go. Like a 1-year 12 maybe. I mean, it's there. I don't think it's going to work, but there's a chance. But yeah, O-line's definitely something Scherf, maybe. I don't hate that. There we go. That could be kind of sick. And then a tackle wouldn't hurt, but Tyrann Mathieu is a costly man. You know what? I'm going to do it, especially since we don't know if we're going to do more than one more season. We won the Super Bowl year 1. Do I really want to do another, 3 seasons of just failure when we had that year 1? It feels like a complete regression. Could use a tight end, but I don't think Mark Andrews is that tight end. I really don't think he's overpriced. Let's see what we got. We end up with Tyron Smith and Brandon Scherf, so our O-line definitely gets a bonus. And nobody wants Mac, but Mac doesn't want us. Okay? I mean, whatever you got to say. Offensive line, I think, has been improved. And, of course, with a familiar face, which is pretty cool. Do we want him at left guard? I think we do. We do. Could also put Cosme at tackle if we really wanted to. But, yeah, Brandon Scherf at left guard. Welcome back. All right, this was a little bit of a costly trade, but we trade Deron Payne, Allegretti, Diami Brown, a 5th this, a 5th next, and a 7th 2 years from now for Brandon Jones from the Broncos, who's actually a superstar dev player. He is 28, so it is kind of another situation where we're filling the team up with players that won't be here for more than a couple more years, but the value of them right now when we're trying to win 2 Super Bowls out of 3 years is there, I think. 74 overall player puts him in the top 10 of overalls on this team. As you can see, it just does. He's inside that top 10, so I mean, a good addition. I will say, new players on this team. I'm not going to count Lattimore because it's been a little bit now, but, adding Tyron Smith, Jones, and who was the other guy we added? Was he slightly a little bit lower? Scherf. I mean, some of the newest guys on the team over the last few years are the highest overalls. So, at the end of the day, I think we're doing okay with player acquisition. I really didn't even think about trading Jeromepkr because I felt like that dead hit was too high, but they didn't feel like that because obviously, they have a lot of money, so they can kind of take that hit if they really want to, and the value was there. They're willing to give me more, actually, but I was like, you know what, I think I need to owe them a little bit back, and, I guess it wasn't more, but it was a different player. They were willing to give me like a 4th and Mims, which is way better value. I probably could have taken that trade and just straight up traded Mims back to him, but obviously we're going for realism in this one, but let's head on into this draft and see what we're looking at. Pick 12. A lot of edge rushers, believe it or not. There's a lot of them, so I have a pretty good, confident feeling that somebody will be there for us looking at these names. Robertson was definitely one of them, and so was Bennett. Oh, Quick went 1 overall. Wow. So Quick, Bennett, and Robertson were definitely edge rushers on my radar. Everyone else, though, not there. So let's take a look at what we got. We have the guards, the interior guys. Not a lot of depth there, but a couple of guys maybe worth taking. And then we have the outside linebackers. Sadly, all of the guys that just went were players that I did scout further. So all of that information is gone. But let's take a look. Brian Decker, edge, decently fast, a finesse, maybe, right? He's around 1 guy. I believe in that kind of stuff. Right end, Jimmy Adams. He's got an A power move, A tackle. Looks great. So Jimmy Adams is an option. Is there another 1 to 2? If there's 2 1-2s, I might make that play. Unfortunately, there isn't. We have 2 guys here, Antoine Bernard and then Sal Montague. Both of them edge rushers, I believe. We don't know about Montague, but 6'5", 250, you got to assume. So I'm willing to trade back at least like 6 spots and still probably land, one of the edge rushers. Can we really pull that off, though? This is actually not a bad trade. If we go 1 more pick, though, we get the Buccaneers 2nd round. A whole 2nd round pick is kind of crazy, but I feel like that is dipping a little bit further than I wanted to. I don't know if I really believe in that. Buccaneers, 83 this year from the Bears isn't really great, but I don't want to go any further than 19, I think. Even that might be too much. Let's see. What are the Bears going to do? Please don't go edge. All right. Panthers, they're going to go edge. They do. That sucks. Giants avoid edge. Vikings don't take edge either. It's looking pretty good. I think it's guaranteed that we get somebody. Browns, they don't take edge either. So we're sitting at 19. We could have went to 20, and we still have a choice on who we want. I do like Adams quite a bit, 1 to 2. And then we have Jefferson and Montague and Bernard. So didn't really even think about Jefferson. I didn't even see him really there. But here's Jefferson, decently fast. Not as strong of a player, but yeah, I think here we're going to be taking somebody. Do I want Adams? Or do I want Bernard? I like Bernard, 6'2", 261. The size is there. Maybe not the height, but the rest of it is. I think the finesse types are better, but I also don't think we have a finesse type remaining. Like, you have Sal Montague, who looks like a finesse type, but I can't really guarantee that. Do I take the risk on him, A to C? I'm almost guaranteeing it's at least a B finesse, and I like the finesse types. He's the most unknown out of the group, though. That's what worries me. I don't care, unknown or not. Sal Montague. I thought I had this off. 38 true. I don't like that. Oh, he's hitting that. There we go. Okay, assuming he's an edge rusher because that's what he looks like, that is a good pick. Finesse type, it seems. That was very important to me. He's getting a guy that's, pass rush moves are, going to give us that speed rusher archetype. And then for our next pick, obviously we can go with another edge rusher if we really wanted to trade up for one because Luvu is not going to last too much longer. Safety's kind of there, but we got that trade in. I really like Truman. Jose Truman looks amazing. He's 6'4". The value looks immense. Adebo, I believe, is a better zone corner. I just realized we got Adebo and Lattimore, but he's a better zone corner, so could play him at safety, which is kind of a upcoming need for us. I think true value-wise, though, I don't really see how you pass on someone like this cornerback, honestly. We do have a couple of DNs, but I don't think we really need them because, we got the 2 DTs for this season. You have a couple of other corners. I think this was the zone corner, so, Truman's definitely going to be the better of the 2. Yeah, Jose Truman, value's there. We're going to take him. Is he going to be normal? Yeah, I had a feeling he was going to be normal. I did not think he was going to be the #1 true talent player, though. Okay, we'll take him. Normal dev or not, that's like a 77 overall player minimum. I think the worst draft I've ever seen based on a high overall was like 77 overall, was the highest like overall that was low. You know, so that's a 77 overall minimum, it seems. Looking at projections or players, we do have some tight end options. I really am not a fan of Ben Sinnott. Is it Sinnott? Sinnott? I think it's Sinnott, right? But Zeke Knight, do I really want to make a trade up for a tight end if I don't technically need one? We have Hatchet, who I think is a little bit, maybe not a little bit faster, is also a little bit shorter. O-line's a concern, though, and we only have 2 remaining. So do you trade up for Wyatt, who is a 2-3, and then you get that early 4th plumber? I think that might be the plan. Linebackers up there, too. We need at least 1 to feel like happy with what we got. I really think Bright is probably the best. Maybe we even trade up for Bright right now and then work it from there. Bright, I think, is the best of the bunch. Tevin, Bright, very athletic. I think we have to trade up for Bright. Trade with the Steelers for... Oh, no, we don't have it. We're 12. About to say... man, I don't know when he's going to... I see Knight got scared, so now I know I need to trade up. The fact that I thought we were going to lose our guy and it worried me tells me I really want him. I got to go for him. We trade a 6 this and a 6 next to move up 11 spots with the Broncos, which is, I think, pretty fair for both sides. Our next pick is at 19, so we have a little bit of wiggle room if we really want to. And with this pick, I think the choice is pretty clear for us. Oh, there's some safety edge, too. But I think it's going to be Mr. Bright, Tevin Bright. He's a little raw, but it's super athletic. 21 years old. I can't see him being anything but good. True talent 60. Oof, normal dev, but all that speed. 80 change directions. Crazy, by the way, for a linebacker. Let's move on to 19, see what we're looking at. I was going to trade up for that lineman. I was like 2-3. It doesn't look that good. O-line's fine for right now anyways. I'm okay. I don't need to make a play. We have a tall cornerback, which is, it's intriguing. Laron Terrell. Is this a guy that's like slow but has that A break tackle that's intriguing me? I think it was. I still don't think I'm going to take him, but it is intriguing nonetheless. Safety, what are we looking at? Cole Childress. I mean, Cole Childress looks great, so that's who I'm going to take. 41 true talent. Sadly, only normal dev, but speed with man coverage, decent zone. We've already talked about how hybrid is the new way to go, so yeah, I mean, that was a no-brainer safety pick. Just didn't really work out that well. Traded Noah Brown and a 4th-round pick to move up a little bit in the 4th round, 11 spots, so basically asking for like a 6th or a 7th, which we really didn't want to give up. Totally fine, I think. And with this selection, it's pretty safe to say we're going to be going Reed Plummer, future center, I'd imagine. Looks good to me. 1-2 true talent, or was it round 1? I don't even know. 47 true, hidden dev. Really not doing well for the offensive line, but we did do well in free agency, so that gives us, gives us credit somewhere. Not our best draft work, but if that edge rusher is decent, then yeah, we did a pretty good job. I also have no idea if we have Mac or not. Didn't really follow through with that. Oh well. Running back. We do have a running back, Malachi Barton. Welcome to the team, 5'11", 22 years old. A ball carrier vision. Stop showing me this crap. True talent 98. Normal devs, got speed. And here's the overalls. Yeah, 78 overall for the corner. Everyone's 70 plus, which is great. Sal Montague, is it left end we need? I really don't know, but he looks great. Finesse is amazing. Block shed's great. Didn't know a whole lot about him, but I like the body size. Sus, call it what you want. And I wanted that speed rusher archetype, which I think worked out in the end. 55, I guess. And he's a superstar. I mean, that's really good. That's a great pick. Even got to trade down to 19 to do it as well. Jose Truman, got to find a starting spot for him, which I don't know if we can. A Debo as a safety in the future, maybe? I don't know, because we really don't have a spot for him. Sanders still is number 3. This is a really good corner room now, which is ironic because it was a point of weakness. Now the DBs look amazing. Bright, I think it's right out we need. Which, I mean, yeah, he is really raw, but what's his swim move kind of stuff? I don't want to move him over now because I feel like they're going to make him a speed rusher. I'm going to keep him middle linebacker and just put him at right out because they're going to make him a speed rusher if not, and I do not want that to happen. What else do we have? I guess there's a couple of edge rushers we're kind of curious about. Cole Quick, normal dev. Wow, there's a good chance I would have taken him if he was there, so dodged a bullet on that one. Gene Bennett's another guy I would have taken. Also normal dev. Maybe I could have looked at Quick's ratings as well. But 2 normal devs in the top 3 for edge. That is brutal. That sucks. Wow. Okay. I mean, I guess those potentials were, they didn't lie, but it didn't make them good players, did it? Robertson, another normal, really amazing player, but another normal dev, mind you. Haynes, I think that was like a, interior type of end. Decker, I guess it's another good player. Brian Decker, okay, another guy that would have potentially drafted. Tall, really talented. It's going to be hard to beat our guy, though. Yeah, can't beat him with star. Got to be at least superstar to do that. Who else do we got? We, of course, have our guy Montague. Jimmy Adams would have been a high choice for me as well. Hidden dev. 90 strength. Really weak power move, but block shed, but really good power move. Take a look at what his dev is. Oh, X-Factor. So he was actually better than our guy. I still really like the guy we got, though. I'm fine with it. But, yeah, he was a really good pick, so it's not like we were completely screwed. Was there anyone else? I think there was that outside linebacker. Yeah, Bernard, and then you have the second rounder as well. Antoine Bernard, this is the guy that I really gave it a second thought of. This is the guy I was really thinking about going for. Did we make a mistake? He is younger. Looks base rating-wise equal, if not better than our guy. Is star, so I guess we technically made the right call. Barely, but we did. Obviously, he's better than the damn normal devs. You know, as long as you didn't take those normal devs. Where was the other guy? Oh, was he actually the guy? Was he not? Oh, yeah, this is the guy, wasn't it? Steve Jefferson, normal dev. Yeah, no thank you. And there you go. Brian Robinson with 6,000 XP, 5 to ball carrier vision, along with 3 to trucking and juke move. Here we are for Season 3. I'm playing this by ear. I have really no idea when the cutoff point is. Obviously, 5 years is almost the automatic cutoff point, but if we miss the playoffs again, do we just cut our losses? You know, Brian Robinson, he's an 88 overall. He's 27. I've seen superstars regress massively hard when they hit 28. That's not even a superstar we're looking at. We're looking at a star dev. Terry McLaurin's already dropped an overall or two. He's not going to last much longer, especially as a superstar. Of course, then you have on the other side of the ball, Jonathan Allen. He's constantly regressing. Lattimore's regressing. Luvu's going to start regressing. I mean, this is a team that is not bad. We won the Super Bowl year one. The future is there, maybe like year 5, year 6, another Super Bowl, but if you don't win it this year, that drop-off for year 4/5 is going to be pretty hard, and I don't know if there's really a point in continuing. This is almost like a weird kind of like following the career type of video where we're just following the career of Lattimore on the Commanders, which is already almost coming to an end based on Madden's regressions, but yeah, I mean, it's a weird spot, right? Maybe we just go hard with the Chiefs scheme. I'm not even really sure that I would consider them even the meta this year, weirdly enough. But, yeah, I went with the Packers late last season. Still didn't change anything. So I'm not sure if this is really going to do much, but we're going to try it. We're going to see if we can win one right here, right now. Because right now I don't have a cutoff point. I really don't know. This team's in a weird spot where Jaden Daniels is good forever, but everyone else isn't. Not been a good season, I'll tell you that much. Lattimore, I guess we do a 2-year deal worth 37. Frankie Luvu, I would like to keep him. I'm not really sure what's going to happen there. Brandon Jones, try to keep him on for another year. Trade doesn't really matter too much to me. It's just, I don't know. I don't want to replace a position we're struggling to replace. Or do we move a Debo to free safety? He wants a 3-year deal. Looks good as a zone player, so I don't see why not. Don't know if I'd really like him on a 3-year, but sure, 3 or 30. I'm okay, I guess. Jonathan Allen, I think at 86 overall, he's gone. Quan Martin's gone. Dorrance, even though he's a great backup, is gone. Center, we got Plummer. Tyron's going to retire. Sheriff is either going to retire or he's not going to be worth it. Yeah, this is why I'm saying I don't know when the cutoff point is. Is this not the year to do it? Like, is this the final year of us being good? You're losing some really good players, and even if you're not losing them, they're regressing so hard that you don't really even care if you lose them or not. You know, it's a tough kind of situation to be in, but I also kind of want to like go beyond and see what's up. So I don't know. Maybe we'll do a 4th season. But yeah, I mean, even with the Chiefs offense, Buffalo Bills defense, and a team that won the Super Bowl in year 1, we're gonna miss the playoffs at 11-6. Like, I don't really know what you want us to do in that capacity. The team is, like I said, only going to get worse. Jaden Daniels didn't even play poorly. We just didn't win games. We just weren't winning games. McLaurin could go to X Factor, maybe keep him around a little bit longer as a high overall. D-line was pretty good. Montague with a rookie year of 7.5 sacks. It's not bad by any means. Moody was pretty good, 80% completion percentage. MVP, Commanders, Jaden Daniels, number 10. But, yeah, I mean, this is a team that didn't even come close to the playoffs, let alone winning another. Did we get O-line? No, it was D-line. Oh, it was O-line. We got D-line and O-line of the year. Sweet. But, yeah, we didn't even come close to the playoffs, let alone the Super Bowl again. And we're about to have mass regressions, retirements, and just straight up no reason to re-sign them players here. So we'll see, I guess. The Eagles versus the Bengals, which sees the Eagles winning. Let's go on to the dev-ups. Maybe Daniels, a lot of yards and touchdowns could have been enough for X Factor. It was not. McLaurin, even when going X Factor, is an 88 overall. So yeah, I mean, if I do an fourth season, that's going to be it. Right, the fourth season is literally the cutoff point. There's no point in going any further. Benjamin over here going to Superstar obviously makes sense because it's Chief scheme. They always make the tight end good. Wide receiver 2 though, Stewart really hasn't been there yet. Bijan, I keep on Bijan. Brian, surprisingly, unless regression hasn't hit yet, which it had to because McLaurin's down, surprisingly still good. I'm a little surprised by that. Like, genuinely shocked by that, which is great. Bright goes from normal to superstar, which is sweet. We'll take that kind of a glow up every day of the week. Got, the dev up for a star based on his stats, and then superstar based on the award win. And then I don't think there was anyone else. Yeah, Jonathan Allen, 82 overall. Here we are. This is what we look at. Jones, if I can get him on a 15 mil tag and keep him and then put a Debo at strong safety, assume we even keep a Debo. But yeah, the team is, it's brutal. Of course, we see a bunch of retirements. We're on the front page of retirements. That's how bad it is. Is Tyron a part of that? Tyron Smith's gone. Scherf's gone. So, I mean, you lose half your O-line, too. We'll try, though. We'll try. We'll do another year. We'll see. I don't think we're going to be able to make this into a playoff team again, but if not, then what a weird rebuild this has been. Jaden Daniels, 5th-year option. Might as well just re-sign him. Luvu is actually a pretty good overall, though, so let's, if the tag could be crazy. So 1 year, 25. I did all the way to 27. I have to tag him. Okay, sweet, man. I love that. A Debo, how much was he wanting? Debo wants he also all of a sudden wants a 1 year 10. I'm willing to do a 1 year 15. So if this doesn't get accepted, I don't know what the hell to do these days. Thank you. I don't know what to do if that's not accepted. Brendan Jones, I really don't want to pay that. I'm willing to just pay both safeties 1 year 15. Why not? Yeah, sure. 30 mil for 2 safeties. They're both good. I don't care. Jonathan Allen, he's just not it anymore. Moody was good enough to where I probably re-signed him, so we'll do a 2 year 10 anymore. And, I'll just get someone else. Yeah, best of luck to you. A lot of money. Maybe free agency will be goated, and we actually can still have a great team, even though we lost a lot of players. We have the money to do it. It's just, will there be the talent there? I don't know. Let's see. 135, Laramie Tunsil is that tackle replacement. Center, don't really need it. Safety, a better option than the guys we have, but also way more expensive. Probably looking at $24 million. Tyreek Hill, how much is this? He wants a 3-year deal. That seems absurd. Can you even offer this much, by the way, at 1 year 32? You can. I'll keep the offer on there, but yeah, I'm not really pushed. We need to do a left tackle. Going to pull off another Tyron Smith type of play with Ronnie Stanley. 4-bar, looking good enough, I think. Rest of the offensive line, I think we can fill. Center, we've already got filled. We need a tackle and a guard, maybe? If that, right? So tackle and a guard, we'll fill that up. DT's up there, but there's really not going to be an option here. Jonathan Allen's, DT1, and he's obviously not that good anymore. We'll offer him 1 year 15, just like we did with the safeties, but that's, once again, where we land. He is, showing a little bit of interest, in fairness, but yeah. Deron Payne's a free agent all of a sudden now as well. But yeah, it's going to be offensive line, filament, and the guys you've seen. And we'll be on to the draft for the potential final season. So we get Ronnie Stanley and Elton Jenkins. Elton Jenkins will be our right tackle, so we have the best tackles we've ever had. And then with Mr. Jonathan Allen, I don't really care. I wish there was better options. There just aren't. Oh, wow. I forgot how bad we were. I was like, 10, 15 or whatnot. No, we have that high of a pick. Wide receiver is definitely on the list. Felder, Harris. I mean, I have these guys I'm looking at. So McCann is a round 1. Delgado is a 1 to 2. He's a big dude. Thought maybe somebody new around here maybe would work out a little bit better. I know the round 1's great, but as long as you're in the round 1 to 2, I feel pretty confident. So probably going to be sticking it out with Delgado, even though the other guy's round 1. You have options, though, like James Harris. Don't know how good he is. Didn't expect round 1. I was thinking, round 1, usually that's top 10. I'm not drafting a wide receiver top 10. I don't even know if I have top 10. And yeah, we have pick 6. So with this, if I could somehow land 2 first-round picks, which I don't think any team has that would be great. Don't see that happening. I don't know where the hell we're going here, but I'm going to try to trade it down for quite a bit of value. I want to get to like 18, I think, with maybe the Packers or the Dolphins or something. Whoever's giving me the better offer. And of course, the Giants throw a trade out here like this. Michael Williams, who they probably took in the top 5. Oh, he looks so good, but I can't make that play. I don't think it's even realistic, let alone something we should do. McKinstry can go for another Saints player. I can't believe how young he is still, though. He's just like never ages. Pickens would be a crazy one, though. Is it possible for me to go to the Steelers, get Pickens and a draft pick? If I can get Pickens and a defensive tackle, I'm going to start really high just in case. I'd be willing to do it. So let's see what we can do here. If I had to give him 38, I'm down. I mean, without a doubt. Okay, I mean, they're willing to take it, which I get, right? Because, 13 is still decently high, but George Pickens, he's a good receiver, but at 86 overall, that's maybe the 30th or 40th ranked wide receiver. I mean, that's probably a little high even for value. Kind of forgot we're doing a realistic style rebuild, or trying to. So maybe I should have gave them back a little bit more, but yeah, whatever. I don't care. It's not my problem. They took the trade, and they will live with the consequence. I've been getting a lot of people asking, hey, why don't you trade more? Can you trade more? Boom, there's a trade. You've seen the Steelers. They had some wide receivers. They don't need Pickens. Pickens is a very vocal guy. Maybe he doesn't like the quarterback situation there, A team like the Commanders with a 90-plus overall QB, that's going to make him a lot happier than what is he dealing with at the Steelers right now? A superstar dev quarterback who's young? Yeah, why would he want that? Of course, wide receiver, though, they've got some options, Elijah Moore and Egbuka, but yeah, I mean, they offered it. I wouldn't even have thought to go for George Pickens until they brought it up. And I don't know if 23 is a good pick for us, but I'm going to trade down. I already feel wrong that we, got Pickens the way we did, which is, I mean, completely fair. It's on normal trading. There's no change in the difficulty. Look at all the tackles. Kind of crazy. Defensive tackle, speaking of, we have a couple of options. Broyles is a 1 to 2. I don't even like him the most. It's just I had the most question marks about him. Let's see if any of those were answered. Not really. He's got good block shed, but I mean, Deshaun Craig looks like miles better, no? I'm going to take Deshaun Craig. I worry that he's normal, but I think the potential's there. True talent 19. Yeah, I mean, it's always the right ends that are like normal dev, but that's fine. We land ourselves a starting DT number 2. We got ourselves a better wide receiver. Stewart fits better as a slot wide receiver anyways. He'll go back to starter next year anyways, but yeah, for now, that's fine. We got a lot of offensive linemen. I'm probably willing to trade up into this year if I have to. We also have DT Reese, who doesn't fit what we want, but at 402 pounds and a power move, how is he not good? He must be goated. Either way, we're going to start out with the O-line. Trent Fleck, round 1 true talent. Looks like he could play tackle, could play guard. Future-proof, hidden dev. Beautiful. Yeah, we're probably going to get a little crazy in this one. We're probably going to get tradey up B. I don't know. We landed a few picks from next year, right? It's not the team. We're the team that is trying to give up next year, not them. Second-round pick. Can we do something like second-round pick is a high pick? Is there any team with 2 third-rounders? Probably not, right? Here we go. We trade Brandon Coleman and a second-round pick for a third this and a third next from the Vikings. Probably going to use that third next to move up again. I really like some of the value here that we're looking at. O-line, obviously a thing. Running back, Seymour, how good was he? A couple of A's. Not that fast, but does look really good. Maybe it's predetermined, a little premature, because I mean, if you want to start a new running back, they need to be good, and the best way to be good is to be started as a rookie, simply put. Offensive line I do like, but we have 2-3 options, whereas Reese, even though he doesn't fit the scheme, I still want him. He just looks unbelievable. Just rotate his ass as a freaking run defender. I don't care. 69 true talent. Damn, sadly only normal dev. I was thinking hidden dev. I was thinking superstar, really. Third and fourth next with Jeromepkr to the Jaguars for their pick. We moved down a little bit, and I think the round 1 lineman's still there, and he is. I mean, Greg Haskins, the value, immense. True talent 20. Hidden dev, I mean, 2 really good offensive linemen. It's a little late, but we got some linemen. And then we do see a running back. I mean, do we take him? He's 22. He's fast, but you know what? Alex Samuel is also pretty good. B finesse. Let's take a chance. Maybe we get one of those rare hiddens. 149 true. Not going to happen this time, unfortunately. Next pick's in the 7th. Probably need a special teamer, but you know what? I'm going to go fullback. I just haven't really liked special teamers in the draft lately. Oh, we have 7th round. We can take both. Fullback James Jones, a run block. 113 true. Normal dev. High 70s across the board. That looks like a pretty good fullback to me. And then we're going to be taking the best strength kicker. Or punter. Depends on what's there. We'll take the, vice versa that we need through free agency. And we do have one guy that's elite. Wes Gannon with C kick accuracy, elite kick power. Welcome to the squad. 88 true. Hidden dev. It's been a little while since we got a hidden dev guy. We'll say they're almost always so easy to find, though. It's never one of those, like, good kick power. He's 93 kick power with superstar. It's, like, always elite every time. We do need a new punter, but those are a little bit easier to find than kicker. Anyways, some guys that dipped under 70 overall, but for the most part, some players that look pretty good. Let's take a look at the 2 DTs. Tyler Reese, who is a monster, mind you. 80 power move, 97 strength. That is a people mover. And then you have Deshaun Craig, who also is normal dev. Fits a little more probably as a balanced guy, but I mean, who do you even start here? Like, Craig is way more athletic, but at the same time, the DT is better by a mile at getting to the QB. I suppose you probably just start the guy that fits more as like a traditional 4-3 defensive tackle. The smaller guy, if you will. All right, here we are for Season 4. Very likely the last season, no matter what, because once again, more regression points. Stanley's going to regress hard. Jenkins probably going to regress hard. Robinson, we know, is regressing hard. McLaurin has already regressed hard, and that's after going to X Factor. We would have Pickens and Stewart as our 1 and 2, but then you move on to the defensive side of the ball where Luvu is going to start regressing. Newton hasn't even started developing somehow, and then Lattimore is going to regress again. Same with Adebo and Jones. The team is constantly getting worse. I will say we had a nice little turnaround for ourselves here, but at the same time, it is still just a team that is like 2 steps forward, 1 step back. I guess it'd be more realistic, like 4 steps forward, 3 steps back. It's a little bit higher percentage than that, I think. Is that even a higher percentage math? It is. I know things. $189 million. We have to pay Jaden Daniels. Is it Sanat? Sanat. I don't know, dude. Jerson Newton wants so much money. Jones is probably gone. Sanders still, he didn't really develop because we didn't really give him a chance, but he will stay around. Luvu, he's been really good for us. The price, though, is kind of crazy. Oh, man, I don't like that nobody's green. It's like nobody's green interest. I don't like that. It's a 6-year deal worth, I don't even know what the hell we did. Oh, come on, man. No one wants to be here. I don't know why, but nobody ever wants to be here. Like, ever. Like, none of them. Jerson Newton is the only guy, and, I mean, I'm only paying him because of that. Honestly, because like he hasn't really played well. Maybe he's played well this season because he's like the true starter. Who knows? Sanders still, the price is fine. We'll do a 2-year, $97 million. We already have a lot of the expensive contracts kind of factored in, so we're looking okay. Luvu, I mean, somehow he's still going strong. 1 year, 27. I can't believe he didn't accept that. Ellen Jenkins is so expensive. Ronnie is like going to retire. These so expensive. I think he just replaced them all. What if we're going to make the playoffs? We had a really bad start to the year. Decided not to change anything because I was like, we're maxed out. I mean, these are basically the best schemes I can really think of. And we had a really nice turnaround. Did we finish out strong, though? That's the question. And sort of. 10-7. The big thing is we started off like 2-5 or something really bad like that. Let's take a look. Yeah, 2-5, which is really bad. Then we went on a 5-6 win streak. Loss, win right at the end. And we sneak back into the playoffs 10-7. About damn time we're back. Jaden Daniels, QB1, yards-wise, touchdowns-wise as well. Picks are a little high, so I don't know if he's winning MVP. Brian Robinson needs to be replaced, which is why we have the scouting focus on running back. 3 1,000-yard receivers with Stewart really close behind. This is a great year. Chiefs scheme is still goated. Left tackle Stanley didn't do super well, though. Luvu is goated. We paid him a 1 year $27. He ended up having a green interest. Really wish we didn't pay Johnny Newton, though. I mean, 4 sacks is terrible. Craig, 6.5, not great. Montague, terrible at 4. I guess 6.5 for a rookie's not bad, but yeah, I was just on a bender of like, everyone sucks but Luvu. Wes Gannon only missed 1 kick because it was blocked. That's an amazing season. Michael Dixon was pretty good. No touchdowns on special teams. Not really to anyone's surprise. MVP goes to Josh Allen. Brandon Ayuk, who could have been a Commander. Remember when those rumors existed? What could this team really have been with that? Probably about the same since he got season ended, I guess. It's kind of pointless. Wes Gannon, MVP of kickers. Superstar dev if you already wasn't. But here it is. Back in the playoffs. I would love to win another game or two. If we can at least get back to the championship round, I would say that, hey, it wasn't just bull crap out the gate, and we weren't just lucky. We actually deserved to be there. End of the game. What do we got? We've got a 0-all situation. Lovely. Still 0-all. Chicago's about to score, though. 3 points. We get 3. 6 total points between the two teams at half. Who would have expected any different? 10-all. It's getting a little more interesting, but it's still pretty bad that the Bears get a field goal. You got to get a I mean, you don't got to get a touchdown, but a touchdown would be great. This team... Don't tell me that clock's running. That's all. I'm just saying. I'm going to, let this go down a little bit. I don't think it is, but you got to be careful. Want to make sure that clock gets down enough to where if it is running, it won't just go. We'll have a chance, Let's see. And it is not. Very good feeling it wasn't going to be, but you just don't know. Corner strike. I don't know if I trust it, but it's Terry McLaurin. They're on it, but not that on it. What a throw to the 1! You're at the 1 yard line, you're telling me field goal? I would run this fullback dive before I run a field goal with this much time left. Still don't trust actually running the ball, though. I just don't like the way the game's built. For some reason, it would take 17 seconds to reline up, even though we're at the 1. Tight end's wide open. Late back over. All that space, so it didn't matter. And the Commanders look like they're going to have a very narrow win to the divisional round. Those corner routes, though, they're pretty sick. I like them a lot. I used to hate them, but you know what? I'm starting to learn how to use them a little bit more, and they're really good. Look at the passing. I mean, Jaden Daniels was better than Caleb, which that would be a crazy kind of matchup. Running, both running backs are pretty similarly ass. Receivers, our guys are a little bit better. Darnell Wright was terrible. Montague literally tied his season sacks in the playoffs. Sim makes no sense. You don't just go from playing the whole season, landing 4 sacks, to having that many in a single game in the postseason. That's not how it works. I mean, I guess maybe it kind of could work like that. Remember Adrian Claiborne? Not the playoffs, but you get it. Either way, let's go to the divisional round. We got to win. That's great. It wasn't super anticlimactic. This 4th season's totally worth it. We now have the Falcons. Tough opponent. They've been to the playoffs a lot in this one. Very curious to see who the QB is, though. Obviously, Kirk Cousins has been long gone. He's been in free agency multiple times now. Let's take a look at the end of the game. Already more points in the first quarter for both teams than almost either team had in total last game. So both teams kind of waking up here. I guess the Falcons not really a part of that mistake, but here we go. The Commanders 31 points. Way better than last week. I guess the Bears defense is truly that elite. And we're going to be headed back to the championship round. Nice stuff. There we go. Let's take a look at the QBs. Penix does finally get the start. I really want to see his overall now. Looking at running backs, Brian Robinson was better touchdowns, but less yards per carry than Bijan. Stewart was great. Everyone else was pretty tame on our side of the ball. Defensively, not going to have those crazy sacks. No, yes, you do. You have 4 sacks between the 2 edge rushers and a pick for Sonny Styles, which I don't want to, make fun of names, but that is either a wrestler or an adult film star. That's what that name sounds like, which, I mean, I guess the NFL is entertainment after all, so it fits, I suppose. That's what she said. Lions, 10-7 on the road, 989 overall. It's a really good team. Winner goes to the Super Bowl. All right, here it is. Going to the end of the game. This Lions team, it looks good. It's strong. 7-3. Why is it the NFC North teams that are beating the hell out of us? Every time, the NFC North just has us like they have our number. Okay. All right. Well, we'll finally score. It's too late. All right. I mean, we got back to the championship round. Got that Super Bowl year 1. Was it worth going to year 4? Probably not. Jaden Daniels threw 3 picks. Oh, my God, dude. Yeah, the NFC North, I don't know. They're goated. Greatest division in the league. What can I say? 3 interceptions. I mean, the Bears, strugglesome. Lions, dominated. I mean, it's just, okay, yeah, why not? Sure, whatever you got to say. Either way, let's take a look at the team. We do want to see, potential regressions. Talking about how, obviously, we would be losing a couple of players to regression, salary issues based on regression. Don't want to pay players that aren't worth it. The Ravens versus the Lions in the Super Bowl. The Lions did that to us. To lose to the Ravens, I will be slapping somebody. You can do that to us. If you win the Super Bowl, I don't feel as bad. But if you do that to us and when you lose the Super Bowl, it makes me feel like we weren't even close. Thank you. I didn't ask for much. That's all I wanted. We dropped down 2 overalls. Could be morale-based. Could also be regression. Jaden Daniels and X Factor. Sure as hell didn't play like it in the Super Bowl, I'll tell you that much. Terry McLaurin, still strong enough to be a starter, but obviously dropping down to an 86 overall now. Really good route runner and whatnot, but that speed is obviously getting dangerously low. But we do see that, some other guys, some other weapons are opening up. Brian Robinson obviously regressing again. George Pickens, he's an 89 overall. Different type of wide receiver for this team. Really good player. And yeah, gives you some options on that catch radius front. Stewart, 86 overall. Evan Stewart, I suppose you do have your top 2 wide receivers set for the future. Evan Stewart dropping to 3 is just dangerous. Him being that good, and the 3rd best option is wild. Jaden Daniels, once again, terrible game there, but still unbelievable. Super speedy. No deep accuracy and play action's iffy, but those ratings, especially play action, don't matter as much. You can be throwing the majority of your passes, from shotgun probably, and, medium to short range. Tight end, X Factor, all it takes is a bit of a scheme change, and you pretty much can turn any iffy tight end into one of the best in the league. Sam Cosmi, I forgot, he got to start dev recently enough. Sam Cosmi, though, run block power is not there. Pass block power, anyways, is not that good, but everything else is great. Probably could easily shift right back to tackle and be even more dangerous. Of course, we do see that Tunsil, we didn't go for Tunsil, we went for Stanley. Stanley's died. So we need a new left tackle, probably Jenkins if we decided to re-sign him. Brian Robinson, no point in looking because he's regressed. Now on the defensive side of the ball, Debo, he's kind of regressed too, so no point in looking at him either. Styles, if you feel like linebacker's a little easier to draft, put him at safety. That's kind of where he kind of was projected anyways, so put him at safety. Really good zone coverage, not busted, block shed, so it wouldn't even be cheese that, regard. And you still have really good linebackers even if you need to replace him. Bright, unbelievable, really good, super speedy. Loved it. Loved that he went from normal to superstar in year, 1 year was massive. Bassa still developing. He's still young, obviously, but definitely a little more concerning. His ceiling's, it's shrinking a little bit. It's getting a little bit shorter. Then we look at the cornerbacks where Lattimore's still a really good overall. He's an 89 overall, 32-year-old. Speed's still there. The guy looks good. Can't really ask for much more from a guy that's 32. Then you have the cornerback, Truman, who hasn't really developed yet, but 83 overall, all the potential in the world. Got to be that number 2, right? He's got to be number 2. Give him a chance. Was hoping for a dev up, didn't get one. Montague, some really good playoff games. Not really so much in the regular season, but he's still got time to develop. Still super young, 24 years old. Not really sure what goes into EA's decision-making. Maybe it's also like running back where it's overall base once he's in the 90s maybe. But then you have Luvu, who no matter what, literally no matter what his overall is always good. I've not had him ever suck. He's been like 78 overall normal. He puts up the kind of numbers that he's putting up for us. Newton, of course, 85 overall. Not a great season, but his ratings are getting a little bit better. Paid him just simply because he wanted to be here. It's nice to feel loved. What can I say? DT Craig, obviously a rookie year. That was good. 82 overall. That's a pretty big glow up. And the kicker, he was superstar. I mean, I don't know if he was superstar, but he is superstar now. I wonder if that was star into superstar, which if it is, that's pretty clutch. And it is. Not often you see star to superstar. So clutch stuff or the kicker, and that's pretty much going to be it. If you guys enjoyed this one, a little bit of a different one again, where, you know, we got that instant success, a bunch of nothing, and then we kind of got a little more success right near the end. Maybe leave a like, subscribe if you're new. If you're not new, I do appreciate continued support on the channel. Follow me on Twitter, Jeromepkr, second channel, PK Plays for non-Madden content. And we might do another rebuild tomorrow, maybe the Steelers. We'll obviously have to go back to the Patriots franchise soon enough. It was a really good playoff game, so I definitely recommend you watching that. And that's about it. Thanks for watching. Hopefully you guys come back for next video. But until next video, see ya. And once again, shout out to the members of the channel. If you guys are not members and you want to be, click the join button next to the subscribe button and all the details will be in there. I've been thinking about kind of what I can do to add to the membership kind of thing without making it like kind of paywall-y sort of. I don't want to make any main series, obviously, you know, membership only, but was thinking of maybe even doing like an exclusive rebuild every month. That's like, you know, something random, something wacky, something challenge rebuild-wise. Perhaps it still would be kind of paywall in that regard, but at least it would feel a little more worth it. One rebuild, you know, 12 rebuilds a year for people that are, you know, paying money, supporting the channel, I feel is easily fair. So let me know. I really don't know what else I could do without it, you know, being unfair to one side, but definitely exploring the options with that. And anyways, thanks for watching, members, non-members alike. And hopefully you come back for next video. But until next video, see ya.